This is Kevin. He worked as a professional chef for more than 10 years, working at some of the best Michelin-starred restaurants in the world. This is me. I never worked in a kitchen. I just make silly little YouTube videos about food.
I'm your newbies!
And when we first started living together, but after 3 years of living together, I started picking up his habits and using his tips and actually got a lot better at cooking. So today we wanted to share some of our favorite kitchen hacks to help you level up your home cooking. Part 1. Foundational habits.
So the first hack we're going to talk about is mise en place. Mise en place in French translates to put in place, meaning everything is where it's supposed to be. You don't have to scramble around for things because everything is pre-measured and you can cook in peace. So today I'm making a little Sunday sauce for my family. So I have everything kind of pre-prepped, especially when I'm cooking, when things get hectic. This is a great way to know I have everything in place, and you just have to keep calm and cook because cooking is supposed to be fun. There's something else that I really want to talk about, which is
Yakumi Pans. These are used often in commercial kitchens to keep your station organized and efficient. You might have seen it in my videos before, and I like to keep a mix of sauce bottles and dry goods that I use the most while cooking. The ingredients change from time to time, but my staples are usually neutral oil, rice wine vinegar because I love acidity, mirin, soy sauce, and most importantly, kosher salt. I love using kosher diamond because it's the best cooking salt ever, and because I make a lot of Korean food, I also keep a little jug of minced garlic because you can never have enough garlic. I've been making a lot of Korean salads lately, so I have sesame seeds, gochugaru aka Korean chili flakes, and sugar as well, but feel free to put in whatever ingredients you use the most often in your everyday cooking.
And mise en place also applies to your utensils. Have your utensils in a container so it's easy to grab when you need it. These silver ones are called Bain Marie because it's a metal pot that goes in the base of a professional Bain Marie. A lot of chefs use it to place their tools in it while they work. You don't need to buy this exact same one, just have a sturdy container that can hold your utensils. If you don't, you can use a plastic container and fill it with water.
This way your utensils are submerged in water so you don't end up with dried out food stuck to the sides. Other than that, when I'm prepping, I like to keep a toss bowl ready for organic waste like peels or chicken carcass so I can chuck it in as I go.
this I'm going to put into the freezer section until it accrues up so that we can make good stock.
This one is an important safety measure. Always place a wet towel underneath your cutting board. Placing a damp towel under the side that curves downwards will help stabilize it while you chop.
And for what I like to call cutting board choreo, yes, ideally you'd have separate boards for different ingredients, but let's be real, sometimes it's just not possible. And I don't feel like washing 5 different boards either, so borrowing the wisdom from my younger self who really shouldn't have cut her hair short.
To minimize the risk of cross-contamination, you always want to work in the order of fruit and veg, then to protein. That way you don't have to do as many dishes, and that means your future self is going to thank you.
Hack number 2 is proper kitchen uniform. Every cook needs a good apron. This is like our chainmail if you're going to war in the medieval times. Does that make sense?
I like having an apron on in the kitchen, not just to keep my clothes clean, but it's basically extra storage. Choose one that's lightweight, water resistant, and easy to wash, and always keep a Sharpie and some masking tape in a pocket when you're prepping, because labeling is self-love. Also, having a towel loop is very OP because you can wipe your hands very fast and have a towel just be ready for cleaning or holding hot pots and pans.
The real question is, why does every cook on this planet wear Birkenstocks?
So I asked Kevin why.
I like Birkenstocks because they support your soles and they protect your feet against hot frying oil and sharp objects. And they're cute.
Hack number 3, clean as you go. And this is the biggest difference between home cooks and professional chefs. This is something that I still struggle with because I'm a home cook. It makes everything much more enjoyable, and having a clean setup means a clean mind. I'm quoting Kevin right now. He's looking at me very proud.
Part 2, essential tools. I made a kind of embarrassing video 4 years ago when I said a chef's knife is like a wand to a wizard, and it's still true. A good chef's knife is your partner in crime and an extension of your arm. Since then, I've upgraded to a proper Japanese Damascus chef knife called Yuto. It's a standard 21cm chef knife with a burnt oak handle with Mija engraved on the blade, and it's been my go-to ever since. I use it for almost everything, chopping veg, slicing fish, basically anything that doesn't involve bones since the blade is thinner and made for precision and sharpness. So for heavier tasks, I use my cleaver. It's a Chinese cleaver I got as a graduation gift from my dad with my username engraved on it. I still reach for it when I'm butchering chicken or using it like a bench scraper. Then there's the bread knife. Obviously used for cutting bread, but it's also perfect for cutting tomatoes or anything watery and delicate. The serrated edge lets you cut clean without squishing things. We're carting into our next tip, invest in the basics. Something that really irks me are single-use tools. Avocado slicers, salad choppers, this corn kernel UFO thing. What the heck is even that? Your kitchen space is precious and clutter creates chaos, so I like to keep it minimal, but invest in tools that actually work. If you don't know where to start, visit a local kitchen supply store. It's basically a chef's library and arsenal. They carry solid commercial-grade tools that are great for basics and usually sold at very affordable prices. So when in doubt, just ask somebody who works there and they'll help you out. Plus, it's a really fun place to visit. So my essentials are a silicone spatula. I use this every single day. Scrambling eggs, sauteing, mixing, everything. Make sure it's silicone, not plastic. You can tell by whether it bends easily or just read the label, bro. Silicone is heat proof, whereas plastic melts. I've melted one before, and you don't want to be eating that. These are also really great for scraping down bowls and getting into nooks and crannies. I keep a few on hand in case one is in the dishwasher. 10 out of 10, an essential. A flat wooden spatula. This is great for scraping all those crispy brown bits that stuck to the bottom of your pan and crusty edges. The hard edge does what a silicone can't. A rice paddle. If you eat a lot of rice, or if you're Asian, you probably already have one. It's for fluffing and scooping rice without smashing it. I like using a wooden one by wetting it first so that the rice doesn't stick. A ladle. Ladle for scooping, soups, stews, and pancake batters. You just need one. There's no debate about it. A peeler. Yes, for peeling. But here's something that most people miss, the little edge on the side. It's for digging out sprouted or bad spots in potatoes or carrots. It's super handy. Microplane, perfect for zesting cheese, citrus, garlic. It breaks down ingredients finely, rupturing more cell walls and releasing more aromatic oils. It's way more than what chopping or slicing can. Finishing off a sauce with half a clove of minced garlic. Chef's kiss. Scissors, the most underrated OP equipment of all times. I use them to snip herbs, cut meat at the table for Korean barbecue style, or even slice pizza without getting your cutting board dirty. A whisk for beating eggs or emulsifying dressings. Mandolin. This one is a Japanese mandolin. Now, you may say that this is a single-use item, but yeah, it kind of is. I almost only use it for sliced cabbage, but it makes the best thinly sliced cabbage that a non-Japanese person can make. You can use it to slice other things, but it's the truth. Offset spatula, great for lifting and flipping small things like scallops or spreading things evenly. Net Spatula, it flips things while letting the oil drain, super useful. A bench scraper, used for transferring chopped veggies or herbs, but also great for scraping down cutting boards or cleanup. A spider, not the bug, the skimmer. This is really great for blanching, scooping out things out of boiling water, or letting oil drip off of Korean fried chicken. Wooden chopsticks. This is my ride or die. You can use it to whisk, stir, flip, plate, mix, basically anything. And make sure they're wooden so they don't scratch nonstick pans. I keep a short pair for everyday kitchen use and a long one for frying, so I'm not right up into hot oil. Speaking of investing in good basics inside the kitchen, one of my favorite tools both inside and outside the kitchen is this little guy, the Insta360 Go 3S. And just like you'd season a dish with different flavors and textures, building a video works the same way. The Go 3S helps you spice up your video with behind the scenes, B-roll, and POV hands-free shots. First, look at how small this is next to my chef knife. It's tiny and lightweight, but don't let the size fool you because it shoots in full 4K. And one of my favorite features is that it's magnetic. I can clip it right onto my apron with the magnetic mount to film hands-free POV shots while I cook without heavy gadgets. And the best part is that you can use the main body to monitor your footage in real time, especially when you're filming solo. And because it's magnetic, you can literally stick it anywhere, like here, and even on my knife. You can get creative shots like this, POV, you're my knife cutting a leek. Okay, maybe not this one. And when I'm filming in public, like in a kitchen utensil store, it's so small and low-key that I can film myself without feeling embarrassed with a big clunky camera. So if you're thinking of getting into food content or just want a simple, lightweight camera that enhances your workflow and helps you stay present, check out the link in my description box and use my code to get 15% off with the summer sale only for a limited time. And let's move on to part 3, smart systems.
Containers. Perhaps something that I'm the most passionate about. Containers are life because they create systems in a world of chaos. This is the big one that I used for the meal prep video. I love these especially because they're more shallow, so it defrosts a lot faster. And the lids are also airtight, meaning everything stays fresh for longer. And most important is that it is stackable. Deli containers. This is usually most people's starter container, I want to say, right? Because it's cheap, it's dishwasher safe, and it's recyclable. It stacks incredibly well, it's lightweight. We still use them on a day-to-day basis, but the only thing with these is that they do break a little bit easier and they do stain as well, so you have to change them once in a while. Usually when people think about deli containers in the US, they're round. Those are okay, but square is life-changing. It actually utilizes the fridge space much better. It's also more secure, so if you can find the square ones, I'll try and find one on Amazon in the description link also, if anyone's interested. Last one. This is actually a new upgrade for me. Silicone rice containers. Isn't it cute? So the reason why silicone rice containers are so OP is because you can just microwave this as is. You don't have to put a towel on it. You don't have to put a plate on with a little bit of water like the Emily Mariko method. You just stick this in the microwave from the freezer and it works so great. Fresh, fluffy, new rice, just like you made it now. So what I like to do is make rice in larger portions and divide it into smaller portions and stack it in the freezer for whenever I want rice, because rice is life.
Next are labels. Okay, pretty self-explanatory you might think, but this was actually one of our biggest contentions between me and Kevin. I like to write labels on the top of the lid because I'm a food content creator. I'm not a chef, I do it for the show. But Kevin is a professional chef.
Labels should always be on the front of the container, so when you're putting it into the fridge, you can see what it is. Most restaurants like to go even further and put the label where the opening to the container is. So when you're in a hurry, you can open the lid quickly.
Now, this next tip is a great tip for home cooks especially, to help you reduce waste and space. Ooh, that kind of rhymed. And that is to freeze first, then store.
Because most home cooks don't have a walk-in fridge that you can get locked inside out from, it's important to be smart about freezer space. If you have any leftovers or cooking large portion for your future self, freeze it, then place them in a bag or container. By freezing it first, they're not going to stick to each other, so you can stack them neatly.
This also applies to sauce.
I think it's a very universal experience that people have this much tomato paste, and I know you just put it into the fridge and it turns all dark and leathery and you just throw it out. I'm speaking to you, Tina.
I love having these silicone ice cube trays for any leftover paste or sauces. That way you can just pop one out whenever you need it and reduce the cost of cooking. Part 4, flavor savor. Even if you have a dish with the best ingredients in the world, without salt, it's gonna be bland. Salt brings out natural flavors of ingredients, it balances bitterness, amplifies sweetness, and makes everything taste more like itself. Not only does it do that, but it also preserves food by creating an environment that prevents bacteria from growing, which is why it's been used for centuries to cure meats, fish, and vegetables. And of the many types of salt available, I love Kosher diamond salt because it has flaky, light texture that's less salty than other salts. It's easy to pinch, which gives you a better control when seasoning by hand, and also means that you can season more liberally without oversalting. Even with a forgiving salt like Kosher diamond, you can't fix what you don't notice without tasting. Have a bucket of tasting spoons ready to taste everything. You can adjust seasoning by adding more salt, acid, spice, or fat, and you can only balance flavors if you know what it actually tastes like. The more you taste and tweak, the more you understand how ingredients work together. It's how good cooks become great. And an easy cheat code to make your food taste better is Condiments. These are concentrated flavor bombs that add saltiness, sweetness, acidity, and umami, adding depth and complexity in no time. I have an in-depth video about a beginner's guide to Asian condiments if you want to go check it out. Next,
know your oils.
I see way too many people on the internet either too scared about their oils or buying overpriced infused oils in fancy containers. Not all oils are the same, and an understanding of basic oils is crucial when cooking and seasoning.
Neutral oil. It refers to oils with little to no flavor so they don't interfere with the taste of your dish. Canola, sunflower, and soybean are great oils for cooking and frying for their high smoke point.
Finishing oils are oils you drizzle after cooking to add richness and aroma. Think of them as seasonings to elevate a dish, not to cook with. These include oils like extra virgin olive oil that can be grassy, peppery, or fruity depending on the region to add complexity to your dish. And for a lot of Korean and Asian cooking, toasted sesame oil is often used for a deep, nutty, and roasty flavor to give dishes a warm touch. You also have chili oil to add heat and texture when topping it off for dumplings, but not the best as a cooking oil.
An easy hack that a lot of restaurants like to use to add aromatic sweetness to their dishes is garlic confit oil. All you have to do is add your garlic to a saucepan, cover with neutral oil, and simmer gently until tiny bubbles form around the garlic. Cook for 45 minutes until the garlic is soft, golden, and spreadable. Cool it completely before storing it in the fridge.
This is liquid gold. With the cloves, you can make my favorite Korean garlic with a little bit of fried chicken underneath. You can never have enough garlic. Remember our scraps from earlier that we kept in the freezer? These are ingredients that would normally get tossed, but together they become the foundation of a rich, flavorful stock that costs nothing and become the backbone of good sauce and broth. All you have to do is simmer on low until everything's infused, strain it and label it, and place it in the fridge or freezer depending on when you're going to use it.
Liquid gold.
And last but not least,
You want that secret sauce? A little pinch of MSG never killed nobody.
remember, it's your kitchen, your rules. Nobody will know.
So that is all the hacks that we have for today. I know it seems like a lot, but cooking is all about a continuous learning process. I'm still learning and so is Kevin, and I hope you don't get overwhelmed and just start incorporating these habits a little by little into your everyday cooking. Special thanks to our consultant, Kevin, today. And also a special thanks to Insta360. And that is all for today. Thank you so much for watching. And if you have any questions, we'll be answering them in the comments below. So type away. Okay, see you next time, Doobies. Bye!